Hello and bom dia. Welcome back to In Love with Madeira. This is a podcast where you get insight all around living on Madeira, on this tiny Portuguese island located in the middle of the Atlantic Ocean. I'm Catherine, and with me here is Mark. And in these episodes, we're having casual conversations where we share our thoughts and our personal experiences. And today, we're going to be talking about how it is to rent a house or a place in Madeira and what the obstacles are. So, hello, Mark.
Hello. Excited again. It's already podcast 3, right?
Yes.
Yeah, so that's amazing. And thanks for everybody who saw our first 2 episodes and shared it with their families and friends. Please do this, share this with your family and friends, because I know that we can help each other by doing this, and you can help us also by sharing this. That YouTube is pushing this to more people, because I think it matters. We can share a lot of things about Madeira, and a lot of people are looking for this information, especially in an environment where the world is changing a lot. So thankful for that, and also thankful for you today, Catherine. Again, we have a great topic about renting a house. Yeah, if you're coming here with your family or alone or whatever, and you have to rent a house, and you have a lot of experiences with that, and not only from yourself, but also seeing people around you who are making the same steps, right? So
Yes.
maybe you can tell me by sharing your first experience for finding a house. You already told us the last podcast, I think, that you went to Santa Cruz. Was that correct? Yeah, Santa
Yes,
Cruz.
that's correct.
Yeah, can you share me more about that? The steps you've made to find something.
Yes. So the first time round, I would say I was pretty lucky to find a place, and back then, 7 years ago, there was still a lot more options here on the
Hmm.
island, but not so many as you would think. And when we were still on the mainland, we looked on the internet on the normal platforms where you can find houses if there was something available. And what we did is to actually message a house that was for sale and to ask if they were willing to rent this out.
How smart.
Because, yes, because there weren't so many rental options there.
Mm.
And by chance, they agreed to it, and we got a really good deal for a really beautiful house. I think it was 3 or 4 bedroom house with huge land and a parking space and a barbecue area. So that was really a really good deal.
Yeah.
And I have since then lived in 3 other places. So overall in 4 different houses
Yeah,
here.
because you left there because they probably sold the house.
Um, Not quite yet. So
Ah,
they wanted to sell the house,
yeah.
and but they needed to get rid of us basically to kind of put it back online, right?
Okay.
So that was the intention, and eventually they did sell the house.
Yeah.
But we knew that it was for us. It's going to be a temporary stay there,
Yeah. So how long did you
and
stay there in the first
three
house?
years,
3 years.
still.
Okay. Well, that's
Hmm.
great. That's great.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I have a direct question about it, because
Yeah.
so you just emailed or called to somebody who was selling at their house, but it's probably through a real estate agent then?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yes. It was through a platform, and the real estate agent was the middleman.
Yeah, exactly. So you called the real estate agent. They asked the owners, and then
Yeah. They
and
agreed.
and then the contract. And because how did you uh, found out what the right price was for the house for paying for the rent?
They suggested a price, and we at the time just couldn't afford it. And we asked if it's possible to do it 200 euros less.
Mm.
And in the end, they said yes. Maybe they saw the opportunity that while they're waiting for it to be sold, that at least a little bit of income is there for them.
Yeah.
But I think we were also lucky. I'm not sure how many people would do it that way.
No. Okay. No. Yeah. And the contract and everything that went to the real
Yes.
estate agent, or
Yes, we exactly. We had a normal contract made with the real estate agent
yeah.
or like as the middleman.
Hmm.
And what was interesting is that, well, I'm not sure how it is in the Netherlands, but in Switzerland, when you make a contract, usually it's open ended. So you can live how many years you want until you cancel,
Yeah.
or the landlord cancels with a specific reason.
Hmm.
And but here it's works a little bit different. They usually only do 1 year contracts, and then it will renew if you don't say anything. But the 1 year mark kind of gives a chance for the landlord to cancel. I'm not familiar like with all the details of what the landlords can do and
Hmm.
the protection of the landlord and the people who rent. But what happens often is that after the 1 year, landlord, and this is a known thing here on the island,
Yeah.
that they either cancel, or after the 1 year they raise the rent price.
Mm.
So it's a kind of a common tactic, and maybe they do a little bit of a renovation so they can enhance the price.
Yeah.
And yeah, so we actually, I believe we even managed to push this instead of 1 year to 2 or 3 years.
Yeah.
I
So, and
believe.
that was still a contract for 1 year. So first 1 year, then 1 year again,
Mm,
then 1 year again.
no, in the first, we were able to do, instead of a 1 year contract, we made a 2 or 3 year contract
Ah,
directly.
okay, great. Yeah, so
Yes,
that's possible. Yeah.
that is possible with agreement, but
Yeah.
it's not common. And
No,
they told us that is not common.
no, no, no.
And yeah,
But that's the great part about not coming from Madeira, right? You have
they make
other,
exceptions.
yeah, they make exceptions, but also you have other creativity. Otherwise, they wouldn't ask probably, because they
Yes,
think, okay, it's just the way it is, because you learn that,
exactly.
right? Yeah, yeah,
And I must say, since we were on a journey of like being new entrepreneurs and started to think more creative on and finding solutions in
yeah.
other areas of our life, we just implemented this in all area of our lives. So
Mm,
where's a problem and how can we solve it creatively in a different way?
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So that's great. So the first house you lived in for 3 years in Santa Cruz, you just asked if you could rent a house that was for sale, and
Yes.
how did that go with the second house?
So we had to move out, and it was really difficult to find something, especially since it was coming to summer. And in
Hmm.
summer, it is very difficult. In winter, usually there is more places popping up and more available.
Yeah,
But it was difficult, and we also didn't manage to find a house for us. We managed to find a small apartment.
yeah,
I think it was a 2 bedroom apartment, like an attic apartment on top of someone's house.
yeah,
So the owners were living below, and on the top they had a little apartment. It would have been great for one person, max two.
yeah.
For us, it was very cramped, but it was the only thing we found. And it was in Santana, so in the north,
Mm,
which is, yeah, quite a downsizing. And we knew it had to be temporary for us because long term that was not a solution. But
Yeah,
it
and
just there was nothing
and it was
available.
downsizing because of the small apartment, or because you went north, or or both.
Both, I would say,
Yeah.
but more the apartment
Mm.
because we had a massive house before, and then we had a tiny
Yeah.
apartment,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And a child who wanted to
Move.
be messy and loud, and
Yeah.
yes.
Mm. Okay.
And but there we stayed, I think only half a year or something, and then we managed to find another house.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but you, so you didn't sign a contract for 1 year. You.
Um, how was that? I have to think back. We did have a contract,
Mm.
or maybe we stayed a year. I don't remember actually exactly, half a
Mm.
year to a year, but we had a contract. Um, and in the end, I think we cancelled this one just because we found another place.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then
And-
with that new place, the house that we found,
yes. So
it was the same thing.
well, yeah, but with the second house, how did you find it? Was it also through a platform, a real estate agent, or?
I think no, this one was through Facebook Marketplace,
Mm.
and that maybe that has also been the change happening. Before COVID, you could still find affordable housing on those normal platforms,
Yeah.
right? Idealista, Remax, etc. And after, those prices all went so massively up, and the affordable housing you could only find on Facebook Marketplace or maybe WhatsApp groups,
Yeah.
or word of mouth. Yeah.
Yeah, so I think that's important. Like, and I think a lot of people who are watching are recognizing that this when they look for a house or a home, a new home on Madeira, even temporary. It's hard to find something affordable, right? Because you already mentioned it. Just in the summertime, it's really hard to get a house because most of the people are also renting their own house out to tourists, right? Through Airbnb or Booking or whatever.
Hmm.
Um, so that's harder. And in the summertime, especially from of a winter time, especially from November, December, January, I think it's much less crowded. It's much easier to rent a house, uh, even cheaper through a house that's normally commercial rented out. Yeah.
Hmm.
Okay. So the first house through a platform like Idealista, then. Um, but talking
Hmm.
to a real estate agent and renting it. The second one to Facebook groups, WhatsApp groups, and the third one, I'm
Was actually word of mouth. That was
really,
someone,
yeah,
yes. That is actually an interesting journey that I didn't think of before. But
yeah,
yeah, word of mouth. And that one was, you've even been there,
hmm,
also in Santana, a four-bedroom house with parking
yeah, it was
and a
beautiful. Yeah,
garden.
yeah,
Beautiful house, yes.
yeah,
And for um, only 100 euro more than the small apartment, like
mm,
really affordable.
yeah,
And I think those houses that are affordable in that way are only to be found through people and connection, right?
yeah, yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, I think it's interesting to mention, if that's all right for you, what kind of rental prices you paid for the first, the second, and the last
Mhm.
one. And actually, you're renting an other house now, right now, of
Mhm.
course, but
Yeah.
um, so that they can be influenced what is might be affordable when you get the right connection, because I understand
Mhm.
that's really important, right?
Mhm.
But can you share this with me, with the
Yes.
viewer?
Yes. So in Santa Cruz, I believe we paid about 700 or something like that.
Yeah.
And when COVID hit, it went down to 600. And that was, in our eyes, a really good deal,
Mm.
especially for the size of the house
Yeah.
and also for being located in the south. So
Mm.
Santa Cruz is a nice location.
Yeah.
Then we went to Santana all the way up north, and for that little apartment, I think we paid 500. So
Mm.
compared to what we had before, it was
Yeah.
expensive, if
Yeah.
you will,
Yeah.
right? And then the bigger house was after the small apartment, but which was also located in Santana. That was 650, maybe something like that.
Yeah. We're talking about monthly payments, right? Yeah.
Yes,
Not
yes,
weekly, but monthly
monthly.
payments. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
600, yeah. And of course, this is Santana. I don't think you would find this amount of rent in Funchal or
Mm.
other popular places,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Today, when you look, Funchal has gone crazy, or I think the whole island.
Hmm.
The prices have gone crazy, and at times in Funchal, even the prices are comparable to Switzerland almost, depending where, of course.
Yeah.
But what I found is the quality of the houses, they didn't go up.
No.
It's just the prices went up, the quality stays bad. And yeah,
Yeah.
you have
Yeah.
to really look where you, or like investigate where you
Yeah.
want to look and find something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. If somebody is watching now, right? They can find a website from a real estate agent or Remax or
Mm-hmm.
the Portuguese one,
Idealista.
Idealista. It's easy to
Mm-hmm.
find, right?
Mm-hmm.
But how do you get at a Facebook group, or how do you get in a WhatsApp group? What is the step people can make? Can they
Yeah.
ask us? Just leave a comment under the video, maybe.
Yes,
And
they could.
okay,
But yes.
but
But there,
if you don't have that, if you don't have this
yes.
connection, how do you do this?
Yes. So there are communities that we mentioned in previous podcasts. One in Machico. This one is called the Remote East Coasters,
Mm-hmm.
run by our friend Dina,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
And once you're in this community WhatsApp group, there are so many subgroups, right? And one of the subgroups is affordable rentals on the island.
mm,
And this came up because so many people just couldn't find affordable rental places anymore. So they made a group
yeah,
where locals would also share if they have something, and they wouldn't put it on the platform, like
mm,
on the real estate platforms, which is really nice that they help, like this community is trying to help out the people.
yeah, yeah.
And something like this also exists in Funchal. The woman is called Marilyn, and she has, I believe, a Slack group
Mm,
of accommodation. I don't, well, she calls it affordable accommodation. I still find it's not so affordable anymore,
no.
but maybe compared to what you can find on this side, it's probably still
Yeah, it's
affordable.
what you're saying, right? Funchal is
Yes.
much more expensive already, and especially since COVID, it's much more expensive.
Hmm.
So it's probably still affordable comparing to the commercial prices. Because if I'm looking to the commercial prices in Funchal, it's like 2,500, 3,000 a month. Is
Mm-hmm.
and they are good quality houses, because I think we need to talk about it.
Mm-hmm.
But most of the time, there are good quality houses in Funchal, because a lot of is new build there.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but that's not everywhere, right? And it's not for every wallet. If you need to pay that amount, or you have
Mm-hmm.
to earn it first before you can pay it, right? So
Mm-hmm.
I think that's not something that a lot of people are, especially with a small family, with kids or whatever, are looking for. So can you help me out? What do you think is the best place to find a rental house that can be affordable? Let's say maximum, and that's even really high already, of €1,000. Is that
Mm-hmm.
really true? Yeah.
So it may seem sometimes impossible when you just move here and you don't know many people and you only rely on what you can see online, right?
Yeah.
Um, It may even be hard if you are in the communities to find something for 1,000. But the moment that you start speaking with locals and have local friends is when I think things shift. Because when I speak to my local friends
Hmm.
in the village that I live, and I tell them I pay 600 euros, for them this is already a lot, right?
Hmm. Yeah.
And they tell me, oh, you can find something cheaper, or like with 800 euros you will find easily something, right?
Yeah.
And I think it's just because they have a different type of connection
Mm.
to people. And the more I spend with my local friends, the more I see that actually so many locals are building and renovating their own old houses or places, making them ready for rent, but they won't put them anywhere. They will keep keep the houses, and they will decide who they want to rent it out to.
Yeah.
So it's really about making the connection
Yeah.
with the people and talking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So a simple strategy could be that well, the first thing you did is I find brilliant to ask somebody who's selling their house to rent it. It's I think a great step. But a good strategy can be if you want to live on Madeira or try to live on Madeira, try if living on Madeira is something for you, that you just rent a house, even if it's higher than you can afford, but do it temporary for 3 months, 6 months, 1 year, something like that, and use that time to connect with local people
Mhm.
and really connect, not connect like, oh, can you help me with a house? No, really connect, be there for
Mhm.
them, help them. I think that's a difference. Maybe you can maybe you can share more about that, and then you probably can find the goods house with a low
Mm.
price, right?
Mhm.
And long term probably.
Yes, so it's interesting. When I separated from my partner,
Hmm.
that was 2.5 years ago. I also I had already a community of local people that I knew,
Yeah.
not very well yet, because I was kind of new around surfing. Is when I started surfing,
Yeah.
and people, of course, heard the story and that I'm looking for a place, and they knew that I had a child.
Mm.
And um, especially in small villages, the this spreads. Oops, excuse me. This spreads fast, right? Stories like these, and people that I didn't even know came to me and said, "Look, if you really don't find anything,
Yeah.
you can live in my boathouse," right?
Wow, really.
Yeah, yes. And I think when they see that you're vulnerable and open, and they want to help,
They care.
it's
Yeah.
yes. And even if they don't know you,
Yeah.
and eventually I found this place here through a friend who knew of my story as well, and he planned to move out to Funchal, I believe. And he already had a list of interested people, I think 4 or 5 different
Yeah.
people. And maybe I had the single mom bonus. But I think uh, if I didn't open up and really connect with him and tell these stories, I would have just been another person on the list, right?
Yeah, true.
So
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's funny that what you were saying, because you are saying even people who don't know me, and I think that's something. Uh, I I have uh, another view on that. I think a lot of people know you, but you don't know those people. And why do I think that?
Mm.
Because you and I are coming in a really small community. We were talking about 150 till 180,000 people, right? And that's with Porto Santo, another island in it. So um, they all know each other. They are all family from each other, one way or the other, right?
Mm.
Um, in a healthy way. I see, in a healthy
Yes.
way. There's a lot of importing, but so if there's a new face in the community, and you are a new face in the community of Santana and Porto da Cruz, and I'm a new face in the community of Machico. Um, what I found out is that I do not know those people, but they know me really quick. Of course, they don't know me, but they know who I am, where I live, if I have a family or whatever. So I think that goes really fast through supermarket, through being at your favorite coffee shop, because people are talking, right? And and not in a negative way, but in a positive way. Just, hey, did you see somebody's living there? Yeah. Do you know where she's coming from? No, but I think she will come from. So they are talking about, and when they have really. And they when they have good information about you, so they hear from somebody that you are in a need for whatever. Um, I think they already uh, created a line with you, a loving line with you, because that's what I see with most of the people on Madeira, or the most people I'm I'm talking to, is they are so loving, they're so caring, and I think that's also normal for them, because that's how they do it for centuries, right? They take care of each other, and they are open for everybody, and that's really surprising, because um, expats have a big influence on the islands and the vibe and the prices, so they can be really easily have a reason to hate expats, but they don't. They welcome it. They don't, and or at least they don't know what to find of it, but uh, they take the time. And why I'm saying this, because I talked to really old people. I was talking to people who criticized me, and I spoke to them, and they became loving, and very good neighbors. Um, I talked to people who were standing in the line with me at the supermarket, and just, hey, listen, I saw you a few times. Where do
Mhm.
you live? They are curious, but it feels for me in a good way. What is your experience with this?
Yes, I think there is always the skeptics, but depending on how you react or speak to them, they will either be more skeptic or they will turn to a friend.
Mm.
And my neighbors, for example, they they're so sweet. They're giving me their or not leftover, just fruits from their gardens, right? Or
Yeah.
vegetables for free. And they know that I don't speak their language very well.
Mm.
And when I cross the road, sometimes they chat about me with the other neighbor. Oh, that girl who doesn't speak a word and stuff.
But you can hear it now, right?
I could, and I responded, yeah, this I understood. And they had to laugh.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
So it's maybe they make a little bit of fun of the expats.
They
But
do.
I
Yeah.
think, when you approach them in a good way, they they still care about you in to some degree, right?
Yeah.
And I think the more you engage, of course, the more you get back as well.
Yeah, 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 yeah. Great, great, great. Okay, back to renting houses.
Yes.
What are things that are really important? We were talking already a little bit about Funchal. In Funchal, there's a lot of new build, right? So and new buildings are, well, better than old buildings most of the time. So, but in the if if we're talking about Madeira, we're talking about the eternal spring. But locally, it can be different, right? So what is important to look for depending on what? Uh, uh, oh well. first question:
Yes.
what is the best place you think to rent a house for a family
Mhm.
on Madeira?
That is a good question. And I think if you do have the money or just no financial worries,
Yeah.
then take your time in choosing where to go.
Mm.
Because, yes, there are old, charming houses, but they come with problems just because back in the days, the Portuguese didn't, or most of them don't have heating system. They don't have good insulated windows and doors. Um, Many houses have mold problems in winter.
Mm.
And yes, meanwhile, there are new standards or architectural standards. So the new houses that are built, they're well insulated. They have, I think, three layers, the glass. I don't
Yeah.
know how it's called in English,
Yeah.
and they're done properly, right?
Mm.
But for example, in Santana, it seemed to be, or it looked like a modern house, but still, it got really cold. There was the heating system was basically this fireplace,
Yeah.
which and it's an intelligent system for back in the days. So you make a fire downstairs, and you run the pipes through the whole house, so the warm air goes into through the other rooms, basically, right?
Okay. Yeah.
Oh, this is the way that they used to heat the houses.
Mm.
But the fire, you can, when it's super windy, it's not great to make a fire because then all the smoke comes inside the house. You
Mm.
really have to learn how to make a fire properly.
Okay. Yeah.
So you want to see, if you're going for an older build, just look out for the ways that the house was built.
Yeah.
Um, the Sometimes the architecture is funny, so not very thought through.
Yeah.
The old architecture, the houses, and in Switzerland, coming from Switzerland, everything's very proper and aligned, and no mismatch,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
To the centimeter, to the millimeter. And here it's just, most people also did it themselves, right? They built the houses themselves. And if
Mm.
it's, oh, 10 centimeters higher, oops, we'll just fix it somehow. We'll just make it work somehow,
Yeah.
right?
Okay.
But where? You asked me where. Um, I think if it's an older build, um, preferably you would want to stay underneath the banana line. And if you haven't heard of the banana line, that is around 300 meters altitude. And anything below has a really warm climate, even
Hmm.
throughout winter,
Okay.
mostly. And above the 300 meters altitude, it gets really cold really quick in winter.
Yeah. So that's above the banana fields, or
Yes.
uh, so if you live in the banana fields, then it's still good.
So that's, yeah, this is
It's
a
aligned.
threshold, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So the lower down, of course, the warmer it is throughout
Yeah.
the winter. And if you go above, then it can get really cold.
Yeah.
So in Santa Cruz, we were a little bit higher up. um, I don't exactly know how much, 300, 400, maybe 400 altitude.
Yeah.
And in at times it got to 10 degrees in winter.
Mm.
And for Madeira, it's cold,
Yeah. That's
especially
really cold.
when you don't have heating. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah. So that's something to look out for, if there's any heating, and how does it the heating. And you were talking about mold. You were saying that there's a lot of mold in the older houses, probably.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, and in general, this is a humid place,
Mm.
and maybe in the south and west is less of a problem because it's maybe less humid, but here in the north, it's a common thing. And I believe also when you're a bit more up in the mountain, because the mist is hanging around the mountains
Yeah.
most of the times, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah. So that's important. So if you're looking for a place where to live, then under the banana trees, that's something to think about. And I don't think it doesn't matter if you're north or south or west or east. Just make sure that that's the part. And if you really want to be certain, then it's more the south, or
More so,
yeah,
I would say, because Funchal and the west side is a bit more dry in general.
yeah, 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 yeah,
Mhm.
yeah, yeah. Okay, okay. Thank you for that. And if you're looking, if you are a family, what is a good place to live? Where should you? You went first to Santa Cruz. Is that a place that's great for living, or? Uh,
I think it really depends what kind of family you are, because
mm,
we were very much in our bubble, very much not needing to socialize a
yeah,
lot at the time, just because we were a young family and busy with our work and our business, right? But the older our son got, and the more we wanted to integrate and have had our own routine,
yeah,
the more we wanted to socialize as well. And Santa Cruz there wasn't much of a community of young people at the time. Machico would have been more the place, or Funchal, of course.
yeah,
We did once in a while go to Funchal to some family events.
yeah,
Um, but I think, today it really doesn't matter much if you have a car.
yeah,
Because I really love to be living outside the village. I live on the mountain a little bit, where I have my peace and quiet. And when I want to socialize, I just take the car and go somewhere. So that's my lifestyle.
yeah,
And there are families who love to be in the city and want not needing a car, right?
yeah,
Um, Machiko is perfect if you want to walk, walk to the village center. As you say, it's a short walk, it's flat.
yeah,
No
yeah.
need for a car.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we talked about it in the early podcast, right? Yeah, that's
Hmm.
well, for me it's Machiko, especially with little kids or
Hmm.
teenagers, because they can really easily go from the apartment. My oldest son, my bonus son, and my girlfriend was on the beach one day, and my oldest son, he said, "Okay, I want to go there too." So he just walked outside and run within 10 minutes to the beach.
Hmm.
It was a great
Hmm.
run, just a little bit slowing down and coming down. And
Yeah,
yeah,
and I
so
think
I,
it's also
yeah, so I really love Mexico, but I understand what you're saying. The place where you live is a great place. The places where you lived in your the house before, it was a great place. But you have to go by car if you want to do
yes.
something, right? And if that's not
Hmm.
not if it that's not a problem, then it's maybe the perfect place because you are in nature. Yeah, I know from my experience that the creativity you have, especially as an entrepreneur, but as a human being, is so incredible on Madeira. I love that's the only thing I already, or that's the first thing I already loved about Madeira is that it's you're on. It's just coming to you. It's wonderful. It's like a holy place almost. Yeah, it is, and I know that because
Yes.
regularly I come of course, to the Netherlands, and then I'm here in the Netherlands, and then I come back here in Madeira, and then yeah, it's just starting again, right? So
Hmm.
and that's a different thing in Funchal. I love Funchal. Like I said before in a earlier podcast, I love to go to Funchal, but I love to get away again. So just do my thing. If I want to socialize, that's the perfect place to be there. You can just go by yourself and just sit in a park there, and it's enough. There are so many people there. Um, but if you want to come for yourself and create things. Yeah, that's what I really like about being outside the city. And Machico is for me the best thing in between, right? It's still for Madeira places a bigger city. It's the second city I think on Madeira. Um, uh, so you have a big supermarket, and you have the schools, and the sport fields, and the restaurants and everything, and the tourists also, but only in smaller places. So I think that's a nice spot. And what about the West? Because I'm a little bit familiar with the West, but what I when I'm there, the only thing I see is really small villages around a road that is really steep going up or down, and the houses are next to that in line with the road. And the rest of the time, I only see banana plants. So it's really a totally different vibe. Do you have a view on that side? And do
Yes,
you have friends maybe there?
yes, I have a few friends there. And when we talk about Caleta, for example,
Yeah.
Caleta is quite big and
Mm.
widespread, but there is not really a city center as we can find in Machico.
Yeah.
The houses are very spread, so um, it's beautiful, of course, but also neighborhoods. I think probably exist less so there.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think neighborhoods in general are not, it doesn't exist here on the island. It's not a concept that people know. And I think we learned from our architect friend that because of how the roads were built, on the cliffs,
Yeah.
that the houses were literally, as you said, just next to the road, side by side. And there was not really much of a cluster that made a neighborhood work as like we can see in the Netherlands or in Switzerland.
Yeah, 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 yeah. We had a great conversation last week or the week before with indeed the architect, and he told us about the history of buildings in Madeira. And the reason why we talked to him was because we want to create a beautiful place on Madeira in Santana, where we can build a community and live in a neighborhood, right? Something we
Mhm.
really like and love to live there with other people. But we will make another podcast about that one day when. There's more information about that for everybody who's interested in this. But I love to work on that project too. But
Mhm.
yes, okay. Okay, we talked about yeah, where to live, and I understand you live where you want to live, right? And if you have a car, Madeira is not that big, so uh,
Mhm.
within a half an hour, 20 minutes, half an hour, depends on where you're living, of course. You are in Funchal or you are in Machico. There
Mhm.
are several other small towns up more on the mountain, especially in the south, that you can visit. So, in practical terms, like you can easily find peace and local amenities like schools and supermarkets. It's I think it's you can access this everywhere, but you need a car. Then you can, of course, there's a bus. Um, I never used the bus. Did you?
Never.
No. Okay. So we can't tell anybody about that. But the if I'm hearing something about the buses, then they are mostly negative. On the other side, if I'm looking in at Machico, you have a big bus station there, and there are a lot of people using the bus. So it probably
Yeah.
they wouldn't use it if it's not convenient at all.
Yes, I think for the bigger cities, there might be buses that go more direct. I think it's works. It's still good.
Yeah.
I know people who have used buses even with their children, like having a family but not a car.
Yeah.
But I think when you live a little bit outside in a village, it goes really slow. So when you have a car and you want to go to Funchal, it might take, I don't know, 20, 30 minutes. And by bus, it would take 1.5 hours just because the bus stops at every
Yeah,
little village, right?
yeah, yeah,
So it just takes more time, but it's super affordable.
yeah.
And if you have the time,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, yeah. Well, and what I did when I didn't have a car yet is grabbing an Uber or a Bolt,
Mm-hmm.
and that's so cheap that when you don't need to go every day.
Mm-hmm.
But even I live in Machico. When I have to go to Funchal, it was like, I don't know, 15 euros or something like that. So it was really cheap for me to go there. And if I wanted to
Mm-hmm.
rent a car, especially in the summer season, you pay 150 a day. That's
Yes.
that you can better take a taxi. And the only
Yeah.
thing I've learned when I visit you in Santana at that time is that it was hard to get a Bolt back. And it's of
Yes.
course now a few years ago, so maybe that changed
Mm-hmm.
already. So I needed to walk to a place, and there was a taxi driver, and there I could go
Oh.
with him. So it took a little bit longer because there
Yes.
wasn't a Bolt in the area. But
Yes. Yes.
but
Yes.
if you go to a city center like Machico or Funchal or well another
Mm-hmm.
city center, then it's, I think
Yeah.
it's okay, or the airport or whatever. Then it's perfect.
Yes. And
Okay.
and I think the island is getting more and more connected also. Like when I arrived, some
Hmm.
parts of the highway weren't done yet, and I think now from Santana to not exactly sure where Sao Vicente or so, it's
Yeah,
pretty well connected now. Yeah.
yeah. I
So
can't find a bad connection. I think everything is.
I think with connection, I mean highway, right?
Yeah,
There's parts in the north where there is still mountain roads you have to take. They don't
true.
have
One part.
highways yet.
Yeah, one.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's a beautiful part. So the first
Mm-hmm.
time and the second time and the third time and the third time, and well, probably till 10 times. It's beautiful to do that road. The last time
Mm-hmm.
I went, I took that road. Well, I've seen it before. I'd like to have the shortcut now, but there isn't, right?
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Yes.
It's in the
It
it's
it
in
forces you to
northwest,
enjoy
is
it.
it? Yeah. So yeah, 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 yeah,
Yes.
yeah, yeah. They force you to slow down and take the
Yes.
really old tunnel up there. It's beautiful.
Yes.
My kids love it all the time. Where you have the
Mm-hmm.
old tunnels where the
The
drops,
water.
the
Yeah.
water is, yeah, it's beautiful. Okay, we talked about a lot of things. I've just one subject which I'm curious about from to hear your perspective is, um, it is renting for, especially an somebody who's coming from outside Madeira. Is it more riskier? And and what kind of things do you need? Do you need to show income? How does that work? What kind of documents do they ask?
Hmm. It's a good question. I think when you haven't lived here before,
Hmm.
they will ask more documents. So NIF number is something they will always ask in whatever
Yeah,
wherever you go.
yeah,
NIF number is the one number you need.
yeah. It's like the social security number, right? Or one of the social security numbers.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes.
yeah.
And I think in the beginning when you don't have a residency card yet,
Mm.
then they will ask for proof of income, right? By now, like after changing a few times the houses and having proof of it or my residency card, they don't ask anymore.
No,
They will just no.
not
Um,
even income, taxes or whatever.
no.
No,
So with this house now, I didn't have to prove anything. I just needed to show, I think, my residency card and my NIF. That was it.
that was it. And is that maybe because you're renting if you rent a house now, you do it by knowing people, right? Right, or they know you. Uh,
Yes.
so it's not through a real estate agent. Is that different?
True. Yeah, it might be different actually.
Yeah.
Yeah, you might still have to show proof of income, but I believe that when you have lived here before, and let's assume someone makes the trick that you suggested, like rent something for more expensive than you can afford, and then you scout for the next place, right?
Hmm.
If they can see that you have rented here before and you show your old contract, I think that's the way into not having to show income again, because they've seen you pay an old contract or just rent before here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So if you're already paying a monthly
Because
amount and you did that, and but
yes.
so are they asking information about the old renter, or the how do you, not the rent?
Hmm. In my case, they never asked about
No.
uh, the previous place. No, they. I think also as an expat, you might have a little bit of an advantage in some areas that they assume that you can pay if you choose to come here.
Yeah, true. Yeah.
If you choose to live on this island.
Mm.
Yes.
Yeah, yeah, and that works also against you. But we will talk about that in
Yes.
another podcast. Because if you
Yeah.
are buying a house, you will pay extra for everything. If
Yeah.
if you don't look into that, very
Yes.
good. Okay, well, Catherine, I want to thank you so much for sharing this information. A lot of information I didn't know, and I think the viewers will probably have well, more questions, and that's okay too. If you have more questions, just put them under the video. We always looking into that, and we will answer you as quick as possible. Um, but if you find value from this video and this interview, please share it with your friends, your family, with your loved ones, people who you think is necessary to watch this before they take the leap to Madeira. And please like, subscribe to our channel. Later, we will make a website where you can leave your email address, so we can let you know when there's a new video. But that's for later. For now, thank you, Catherine. Thank you so much.
Thank you to Mark and to all of you people. If you enjoyed this episode, make sure to join next time again. And until then, stay curious and maybe a little bit more in love with Madeira. Ciao.
Ciao, ciao.